chip birds.
They chip snakes, they chip lions, they chip tigers. Chipping bears, they're chipping all kinds of animals. They've been doing it for years.
House pets.
But the technology been around since the early 90s. But it's just that the infrastructure didn't exist. So for what we're doing right now, for this aerial broadcasting right here, it's going over the World Wide Web live right now. That technology didn't exist 40 years ago. Didn't exist 30 years ago. That technology didn't exist. So the infrastructure wasn't set up back then for this technology to exist, but now it is.
Hey, to the other Bishop's point, just to qualify, it says, this is from yesterday, Trump signed sweeping order to digitize all federal payments by September. All right, it says U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on March 25th at the White House mandating a government-wide shift to digital payments, ending nearly all paper-based disbursements by the close of fiscal year 2025. All right.
So you basically you're gonna get direct deposit whether you like it or not. So whether you want to have a check or not, you're getting direct deposit. So they're gonna eliminate that. They're eliminating paper currency. So they're gonna make it directly to your account. And it's all really so that way Esau wants to see everything that's done. Which it ain't none of their fucking business.
Fuck that shit up.
What you purchase and what you buy or how you buy or when you buy. That's what it's all about. They want total control over everything. They already own everything. They own all of the assets. They own the farms. They own the water supply. They own the fuel. They own the ability to go and get the fuel. I mean, they have everything. They have ownership over everything. Now they straight up want ownership over your soul. That's what that shit is about. They straight up want ownership over you, the person, your soul. They straight up want your soul. That's what it's all about. That's what these devils are doing. Because they already have control of everything. So when is it enough? When does it stop? It's all totally about control. That's why it says he calls us all both small and great, rich and free, poor and bond to receive a mark. That's why you got those fires that's happening down there in Florida right now that they're not really talking about. You had the fires that was in North Carolina, and then you had the fires that had hit. First you had the ones that hit in Hawaii, where they destroyed all that property, and then of course the devils bought it up. They want to set up those 15-minute cities, where they want to prohibit your ability to be able to travel. Now you can go from here to South Carolina, or you can go to Virginia, or you can go across, you can go to Oklahoma, go to Iowa. They want to keep everything where it's within 15 minutes, 15-minute cities. Where there's no need for you to travel. They want to keep you right there in a certain area. In California, with all the property that's been burnt out there in California, and showing you that it's a setup because the insurance company's backed out of California. Like State Farm, they always run the commercial. Like your good neighbor State Farm is there. Well, State Farm ain't there. State Farm left there. And those people are not getting no compensation for all of that property that was destroyed by them fires. They're not getting nothing. State Farm took it. They left. State Farm and all the other insurance companies, they left out of it. They're not providing no insurance out there. So it's all a setup. It's all a setup. And the one that's behind all this is Amalek. Them damn so-called Jews. They're the ones that's behind all of this. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yep. And it's going to come to that. It's going to get to that point where you won't be able to move nowhere. You're going to be stuck. Whatever location you're at, you're going to have to sit right there. They're going to prohibit you from traveling. And yeah, the cities are going to be troubled because once they stop bringing in goods and services into the cities, there was a thing that went out, what is it, the EU? There was 72 hours of stockpiling. Yeah, they told people to start stockpiling and get ready for
Potential war.
Start stockpiling and get ready for World War III.
Let's go.
See if I can find it. Go right ahead.
Yep, this is 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Right, and that's going into Jacob's trouble, which we're walking into. We're going into that. All of these moves that they're making, and that's what it's going to bring on. You got people that are protesting those. They're protesting Elon and protesting Trump. Well, you voted and put them up in there.
Put in your truck, bro.
You put them up in there. Make America great again, right? And all he's doing is he's pissed off all of the allies that America once had. He's shitting on all the allies. Now the allies are what? They're going against his ass. Especially the EU. The EU is going against him, which goes into the prophecy which says that they shall hate the whore and burn her with fire. Because the whore that sitteth on the beast, which is the EU and NATO, is America. America is the whore that sits on the beast. And she is pissing off the beast. She's pissing off the rest of the beast. So what are they going to do? They're going to burn her with fire, just like it says in the scriptures. They're going to burn her with fire. They're going to turn on her. Look what Donald Trump is doing. He's trying to sun everybody. Canada, all the different people that got treaties with them, that are working with them, he's coming against them. So what you think they're going to do? They're going to grab their nuts and they're going to like, fuck you.
The Bishop Canada said they were done with them too.
Yeah.
They just came out and said it. We're done with them. You know? Yeah, man.
And I think right now, I think it's China, Russia, and Iran, I think signed a war treaty with each other right now, which they're preparing for war. I believe they signed a treaty right now. Iran, China, and Russia. So then you got the BRICS. You got the BRICS nations, which the BRICS nations is the equivalent of the G7. The G7, you're not the only game in town. So now the BRICS nations, these are the poor countries. They can go to the BRICS and they can get loans from them that are cheaper than your loans. They don't have to deal with you. And the GDP, the gross domestic product of the BRICS, is more than the United States. So the BRICS is winning while the United States is losing. So the only thing left for you, Esau and Edom, is war. The only thing left for you is to go to war. And you're going to wage a war that you're not going to win. You're about to wage a war that you're not going to win.
Article from BBC News. Canada Prime Minister Mark Carney says old relationship with U.S. is over.
Look at that.
All right, talking hot.
Yeah. Old relationship with the U.S. is over. Everybody's preparing for war. I found it. It's this is from Newsweek. It says Europeans told to stockpile 72 hours worth of food. It says EU households should stockpile essential supplies to last them 72 hours to give them resilience in the face of conflict and catastrophes, the European Commission has said. It made the recommendation on Wednesday in its EU Preparedness Union strategy for multiple risks, including current geopolitical tensions, the possibility of armed aggression against a member state, natural disasters, and cyber attacks. That's where we're at now. And that's the EU. And you think you Americans here don't have to prepare for the same damn thing? Yes, you do. Because going back a couple weeks ago when that comedy show in the White House with Zelensky and Trump, that shit was funny as hell. And Trump was just, boy, he was just on some shit. But Zelensky said to him, look, you think you guys are safe because you got basically two bodies of water to protect you. You got the Pacific on the West Coast, and on the East Coast you got the Atlantic. So you got those two bodies of water that kind of, people that want to attack you, they got to deal with that first just to get to you. But you know what that scripture is? That's the scripture in Ezekiel. Then they shall think of thought, let us go to the land of unwalled villages. That's what that is right there. Matter of fact, if somebody can get that in Ezekiel. Let us go to the land of unwalled villages. That's what that is. That's what Zelensky was telling Trump. And Zelensky is a so-called Jew any goddamn way. You know who Zelensky is? Zelensky, those people over there in the Ukraine, those are the exact people where the Jews of today that exist, that's where they came from. They came from, it was known as Khazaria. During the 8th century, that was known as Khazaria. Now it's called Ukraine. It was known as Khazaria back then. And you had the conversion of the Khazars. You had the conversion of the Khazars that converted to Judaism, right, in the 8th century. And you also had another group of Khazars that took on the religion of Islam back at that time. And Zelensky is one of those Khazars that took on the religion of Islam. Because what do they practice there? Islam. Because it goes back to the Middle Ages when Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks. The Ottoman Turks, those are Edomites. That's their people. That's where the Ottoman Empire was located. Those are the people that took down all foreparents of the Byzantine Empire. Those are the people that took down that took Jake down in Portugal and Spain. It was the Ottoman Empire. So the Constantinople, the name was changed to Turkey. Constantinople, before it was called Turkey, it was called Constantinople. Then when the Ottoman Turks sacked it, they changed it to Turkey. The name was changed to Turkey from Constantinople. Those were our foreparents that they took down during that time. That's who they are. And they're the people that make up Judaism to this very day. Those are the people there. But before they got there, out there in the Balkans and out there by the Caucasus and the Ukraine, they were in Mount Seir. The Edomites migrated out that way. They migrated into Eastern Europe and took over in Eastern Europe. The same shit they did to Gad over here is the same thing they did to the Japhites over there in that land, because that's Japheth's land. So now in 2025, you got these assholes that they look at Europe, which it wasn't called Europe back then. It was basically Europe. It was Asia. All of Asia, all of that landmass is all Asia. That whole landmass was Asia, and that land, it was Japheth's land. The Edomites went up in there and they took over Japheth's land and they pushed Japheth up out of it. The same thing they did to Gad and Reuben over here, they did to Japheth over there in Asia. Now they call it Europe. Okay, I got that precept. Yeah, we're going to read this precept and we're going to lock it.
I got you. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are...
When he said, they shall think a thought. And then, I think it's the verse up above it. Yeah. And then we'll end it with that there.
This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 10. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shemel Shai. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Right, and that's what came into Zelensky's mind when he was sitting there talking to Trump. And what did he see? He said, hey, you know, you're protected. You got these two big bodies of water to protect you. But what he was saying was that the day is going to come when that ain't going to be able to protect you. Which is what? They shall think a thought. Let us go to the land of unwalled villages.
It says, yep, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and it says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. That's what he said.
Yep.
He said the only reason why you dwell safety because of that vast sea you have.
Exactly. So that's it, and that's what that is. So the EU is coming. The beast is coming against the United States. They done pissed off everybody over there in the EU. And when he did that to Zelensky, all of those people over there in the EU, they got behind Zelensky. All those different nations, they got behind Zelensky. They were basically consoling him after Trump ripped him a new asshole. They were consoling this guy.
That's right.
So it's a matter of time. But we're closing up. So with that, we're going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh.
How about Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem,